Hey, Matt.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Doing great, man.
It's Friday. That means we're back down here in Porchville.
Thank God. I'm so ready for this week to be over.
You have a good week?
Pass?
Pass?
Pass.
Are we passing?
Pass.
Are we passing?
Yeah.
I hear
I'm
you.
present.
You're present.
Yeah.
Yeah, PorchvillePod.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Get over there, check us out, and make sure you hit subscribe. Tell all your friends about us. And we've been sitting here with Bob Smith, just having a good conversation. Figured you know what, we better turn this thing on and start recording it.
That'd be good.
And so here we are, Bob.
Yes. Good to be here.
How are you?
I'm great, man.
Thank you for coming to Porchville.
Thanks for asking me. This is wonderful.
You're a comedian. Were a comedian.
Am. Yeah.
Tell me about that. What's your comic background? That's where we met.
That's a deep question, Nick. I mean, like that's like really wide open.
Well,
I started on Hilton Head Island.
Yeah.
I grew up here in Gainesville, and then I started here in Gainesville. And
I got some water if you need any water.
I'm good right now. Cool. And got a job as a house MC when a club opened up there in about 1990. And then I had a situation with a roommate about the same time the Gainesville student murders took place.
Whoa.
And,
what kind of situation are we talking?
My roommate, who I was living with, tried to abduct some women.
What?
And, the Hilton Head police, one day I came home from being at a friend's house, and there was a strange car in my driveway, and I knew it wasn't mine because, A, I was in mine, and 2, this one had blue lights and sirens on top of it. And the search warrant was nailed on my front door. And the
Holy
police,
shit.
and he tried to kidnap these women. And so I ended up losing my job, and I lost my apartment like the next day.
Really? They just throw you out?
The lady who we rented from basically told me I had till the end of the month, and I had to be out. And then my job the next day let me go.
Because of
what
what your
happened.
roommate did?
Yeah.
Well, they think you were in on it?
No, I worked for a country club, and it was kind of the notoriety and that the kind of I guess they didn't want being attached to something like the stigma. And so they let me go.
They didn't want the ne'er-do-wells attached to their country club.
Can't have that.
Man.
It's bad enough the members are there. So, but anyway, I had gotten some road work by that time, and I moved back to Gainesville and started working the road. And I worked the road for 20 years. And in 2001-ish, 2002, we started the original Gainesville Comedy Showcase at the old Holiday Inn, where Clarion is now.
Right.
And we ran that. I helped run that for about 5 years. 2 guys, Jamie Morgan and Monty Allen, were the ones who really were in. I helped them start it, but they did most of the work. And then a couple years ago, some friends, we started at Sal's Place, which is now Mother's.
Yeah.
And then last year in March, we started Keg of Laughs. And we've been doing, until COVID hit, we were doing great.
Yeah.
But and I did stand-up comedy. I was a road comic for about 20 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's a hell of a wild ride there, man. I like how he said I had some roommate troubles. It just glossed right over that. Like
Just a couple little problems here and there.
He was just a normal guy. He was a little weird, but I thought he was safe, And when I came, we went out. He was a fireman on the island, and I met him. The lady who I was living with, she wanted to have the room for something else, so she said, "This guy I just ran into, go talk to him." And I knew he was a little off. I mean, he wouldn't look at you. He was very quiet.
Wow.
And then, one morning in the paper, one afternoon in the paper, you read women held against their will, assailants sought. That's on a Monday. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I come home, get ready for work, and there's the police. And, the door's half. I go, "Hello," and the guy's like, "You Bob Smith?" I'm like, Is he in trouble again? I'll be right back. Come in, boy, and sit down. And when the cops tell you, come in, boy, sit down, you park that stuff right there. And it was the week of this, maybe the second wave, a second series of murders had happened
in Gainesville.
Yeah. And so the guy, without boring you to a coma, the guy's like, he ain't down in Gainesville, Florida, has he? I'm like, no, he's been here every day. He had a bicycle. He's not riding to Gainesville. And the guy goes, where are you from? Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, shit.
Write my name down. I've been here every day, dude. I'm good. And so,
damn it.
Yeah, so it was something. But I won a job as a house MC at this club in Hilton Head.
Yeah.
And I had done it for about 7 months. And then this happened, so I ended up having to leave that. And then moving back to Florida. But I did the road for 20 years, and with Keg of Laughs, what we're trying to do is cultivate, like we did back in the old days with Gainesville Comedy Showcase, help people start to get where they can work the road.
Yeah. You think Gainesville's big enough that we can merit another comedy club, like just a club just focused on the...
Well, the Holiday Inn
scene?
was a hotel. It was a bar.
Right.
And so we had comedy. When I helped get it started in 1991, it was a bar with a bar.
And that went on for a while because...
until Clarion came along and kicked them out.
I moved to Gainesville in 2000, and...
It was still there.
And I think I moved to Tower Road like 2006. I think it was still there.
It was still there.
Yeah.
I forget what year Clarion came on, but when Clarion came on, they didn't only kick out the comedy. They didn't end the comedy club. They quit the open mic, which was the crucial part, because what we did was back then, it was different back then because it was basically the only game in town, and so we would have a workshop on Sunday like we do with World of Beer now,
right?
And then you had to come to workshop to be guaranteed time on Thursday night to be in the showcase.
Yeah.
And eventually what happened is people got better. Then we would give them guest sets on the professional nights. So we'd have one or two, guest sets. But we had, there was, Jamie owns a club now in Fort Myers. But the two big...
That's where I'm from. I actually know the club.
Laughing Comedy Club,
that
sure.
He
bought
owns, because I know the bar that it used to be when I
and that bar's gone now.
It was Flashbacks.
Flashbacks, right? It was Flashbacks. It was great because every time you went there, the police would come. It was wonderful. But no, it was. I did New Year's Eve there when the other owner had it. I performed there about twice a year. I loved the Laugh In, and so then Jamie owns it now. But the two stars that really came out of Gainesville from that era would be J.C. Carias and Chris Cope.
Yeah,
and Chris was really good back even then. And then they both moved to L.A. along with guys like Zach Huddleston, Ed Geller. There were several people. There was a guy, John Feisman, who went to New York, who were really, really good and could have. Well, Chris is really good. Chris has been on Conan. JC's been on Conan. So they're really good. But they're out in L.A. and a lot of people have never heard of them because, they haven't been on national television as much maybe, or as they should. But Chris is a guy who, when he started and he came the first time, he couldn't tell a joke. Yeah. Chris could, why this chicken could cross the road to get the other side? Chris, okay, this chicken wants to go over. No, that's not it. Okay, why did the road's over? And he couldn't tell. But Chris is the guy who worked really hard. Yeah. And he had a carbonated personality. You liked him immediately. Yep. But he worked at it, and that's why he's where he is now.
That's what awesome. I say about AJ, man. That guy's personality.
Totally.
He's been so much fun in the time that we've been doing this podcast here. I think he's been on 2 or 3 times. He's always a blast, and I tell him all the time that he's got that next level.
He does.
Whatever it is, he's got it. That thing.
He's got the charisma. He's got that personality.
The moxie, or whatever. Wherever you're from, everybody's got a different way of saying it.
But the thing that AJ does that, you like to see more people do is AJ writes all the time.
Yeah.
Yep. And he works at it all the time. Yep. And he's always wanting to get on. He's always wanting to get on stage. Yeah. And AJ has a great chance to. I think AJ could definitely do it. He's young enough. I was 29 when I started. AJ's 30, 31. Yeah. So he definitely could do it. Yeah. It's just hopefully, or will he? I think he will.
Well, and we talked before about him going to Austin. That's common knowledge. He's actually going to be on the show next week.
Okay, cool.
And we're going to send him off. Wish him well out there in the great state of Texas.
Yeah. Tell him he looks really cute.
Matt tells everybody they're cute, so.
But AJ's really funny.
He really is.
He's worked very hard in the time that because you think about AJ for a second. AJ started maybe a little over a year ago.
Yeah, that was the funny thing was when he was on the show the first time. I asked him, "Oh, how long have you been doing this?" We've been doing this about the same amount of time. Okay, the podcasting and AJ doing comedy, so we're kind of coming into our own together. That's cool. So we're very excited for him.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
see where he takes it.
And that's the thing. When I started doing stand up, I really didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I won the job on basically doing a 2-minute impression of Howard Cosell interviewing Ali.
Yeah.
And the guy, you're the guy. I came off the stage. There were like 14 people. I was in the middle, and the guy goes, "You're the guy." And I'm like,
Nice.
"Be here tomorrow." I had no material really. So and I had 2 friends of mine who worked at a radio station. So we wrote. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I would just go up, and basically it was my personality the first 2 or 3 months. But comedians would come through every week, and I would pick their brain all the time. And one of the ones who really helped me, and I don't know him at all.
Yeah.
I worked with him one time, was Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh wow.
And
Cedric.
Cedric the Entertainer, and I remember him telling me, he goes, "Bob," he goes, "you've got to slow down."
Yeah.
He goes, "You got funny stuff, but if the people don't understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
they're not going to laugh."
Right.
And I remember one of the shows on Saturday night, I did really well. I came off, and he's like, "That's what I'm talking about."
Nice.
And that's one of the reasons when I was drinking. We talked about it before we started
Yeah.
the show. I drank. One of the reasons was to calm down.
Right.
Because I talk fast anyway.
Well, I think that's why a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
though. I think that's why. I mean, I've got a background in music. I played in a band for a long time.
Oh, wow.
What do you associate with rock and roll, sex and drugs?
Right.
And
Exactly.
comedy's very much the same way.
thing.
I mean, it's performance. We're getting up there.
When did you
bearing
ever
our
have
soul.
sex?
Tuesday, you were there.
I thought you were a virgin.
You were there.
All right, yeah.
Don't tell me you haven't seen the video.
I drank a lot that night.
bro.
Sorry.
Okay.
It was a Tuesday then.
Yeah.
Normal Tuesday.
Well, as far as I can't remember, it was a great time.
It looked great. Framed up well.
Framed up. That's good.
Oh, we got it on video?
It's high def, man.
So, what drew you to comedy?
Well, I always wanted to try it,
Yeah.
and I had done some in Gainesville back in the '80s. I had done some talent shows, or I had
Yeah.
tried, and my comedy, I guess. This is a bad word today. Bill Cosby.
I love Bill Cosby.
He was my favorite. Richard Pryor.
I mean, the Bill Cosby
Richard
himself.
Pryor, I think, is
Yeah.
one of the best of all time.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Of
and
course.
Steve Martin were probably my
Steve
3
Martin's
favorite
king.
of all time.
Yeah.
And then, but I always wanted to do it. And I was always telling stories. And when the Hilton Head opportunity came about, I used to do an Elvis impression with a friend of mine at a restaurant on Hilton Head. And then this opportunity
Prove
came
it.
about. Well, man, I like to prove it, man. It's hard, but I'll do it. But it was this opportunity, and the guy said when I came off, I was doing, we're talking to the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad, good to see you. Come in. Nice to have you here. Can you beat Joe Frazier? I'm fast, I'm pretty, I'm the greatest heavyweight champ of all time. And basically that's what I did, and the guy goes, "You're the guy." And so then I'm like, okay, great. What do I do tomorrow? I mean, it's like, and you don't realize, but the thing that I benefited from was we did 7 shows a week.
Yeah.
And I would then, but my friends Bill and Keith and I would drive to Savannah on Tuesdays for open mic.
Right.
So I was doing 8 shows a week, almost every week.
Just like right off bat.
I got
great.
good pretty quick.
I mean, you had to.
Right.
Or else.
Right. And
Yeah,
that's
there
the
was
thing.
no choice.
Right. And that's the thing that we have here is, 20 or 18 years ago, there was the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
But now in Gainesville, you've got, before COVID, there was the Midnight.
Yeah.
And then there was the Kava Bar, I think, did an open mic. We did an open mic, and we did a paid show we did. Plus, we did a workshop. So there was opportunities and you have to keep your
At the
pencil
World of
sharp.
Beer there.
At the World of Beer, right,
Yep.
on 34th.
Yep.
And we started at Tioga.
Yeah.
And then we moved over to 34th. But
Has the crowd been better on 34th versus Tioga since the move? Or?
well, we haven't been back because COVID. Until
I
Gainesville-
mean before, like,
it was different.
yeah.
They have us the one on 34th has a private room, the cellar,
Right.
and so it's only holds about 50 people. So we pack it out,
Yeah.
which was great.
Yeah.
And then it was a lot of fun.
It had a good vibe.
Very good, yeah.
I hit up a couple of them. It had a really nice vibe, a real homely, like everybody huddled together.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
now
You can't do it.
get it.
And we do shows out at Woodyard Grill about once a month, and we started redoing those back in June, and they get a really good crowd out there for that. I mean, it's packed. But before COVID, I mean, they were turning people away out there.
Yeah.
It was 'cause if you didn't get in, you saw people standing outside the railing looking in. People want to laugh,
Yeah,
and especially now with all the stuff that's going on.
absolutely.
I mean, come on.
You got to have something. You got to have something to get you out of this,
Fun.
I mean, everybody's so goddamn angry nowadays and, pissed off. It's like,
man.
we got to get back to entertaining, man. Music,
Dude, that's
comedy,
something-
all of that.
Oh,
That's something that I've been looking at. Like I go on Facebook and it's either like people are like super left wing,
Yeah, don't-
super right.
Don't go on Facebook.
And it's just like,
depressing.
fuck you guys. Can't. Whatever happened to the days when you take a picture of your cheeseburger before you eat it for dinner? Like, come on, like.
Yeah.
Those
go
days,
back to the
those days are
happier
long
times.
gone, man. Yeah, I try to share like cat memes and stuff.
No, I
sometimes.
love cat memes
Well, then why don't you like them when I post them?
because I don't do
don't
that.
don't give me that bullshit.
When's the last time that you actually posted a
When's
cat
the last time you
meme?
It
posted?
was like 14 months ago, probably.
Yeah, all right, so
I just posted a bunch of violently right wing shit. No, that's all. That's it. Just exclusive Trump 2020 shit.
And that's why I don't respond to you.
No, I really don't. But that's what people think I post, because I don't go along with all the narrative. So apparently everything I post that doesn't go along with the narrative is like super ultra crazy right winger stuff. I mean, I thought it was just kind of normal.
Well, it's
What do
amazing.
I know?
People get, I mean, it more than ever. I mean, think about how it was, 15, 16 years ago.
yeah.
There was no social media.
Yeah.
And today it's like.
People were
very-
saner.
Apparently they
Or
were.
maybe all the crazy people just kept to themselves
Selves,
more,
right. I'm
And
staying
now they
home.
have a platform, where batshit crazy people from all corners of the world at all hours of the day and night can just spew their fucking hatred. I'm so mad.
And now all the crazy people just stay in the woods and they just post on Facebook all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Just
crazy.
like, go back to the woods.
What does that
get rid
what
of
does
your
that do
internet.
for what does that do for comedy though? Because I think as comics,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's sort of like you just got to keep doing what you're doing. You got to say
That's right.
fuck these people.
Yeah.
I'm not giving into this, and we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. If we offend you, then good.
It's, if
Everybody needs to be
have a
offended
sense of
little.
humor. I mean, to a point. I mean, you
Yes.
got to have a sense of humor. And these people
Yes.
who are so on guard all the time. It's like I told somebody this the other day, and this may not win me any fans right now, but I said the person who needs to have their ass whipped is whoever the guy was that came up with everybody gets a medal.
Yes,
Because that's where all this crap started.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is, with comedy, what we laugh at today is the same stuff 20, 30 years ago. It's totally different.
oh, 100%.
And so I've got friends of mine whose kids aren't allowed to watch the Three Stooges or Bugs Bunny.
What?
Like, what? That's why I said, what? Come on, man. It's like a rite of passage for a boy. And they're like, no, it's too violent. It's too this. It's too that. You're
Really?
Just like, yeah, for real.
I don't know any of those people.
No, you don't want to.
And yeah,
I think that's why we are going to get along very well, Bob.
yeah.
But I don't get it. It's like,
Because stuff like that. I mean, come on.
it's a cartoon.
Those are the same kind of people that wouldn't let you watch the Goonies or some shit.
Yeah. But you got to be in today's world with comedy. I mean, I was on stage down in Fort Myers, and I told a story about getting hit on by a guy, and I had people who were like, after the show, come up to me, and they were, we want to talk to you. I'm like, we want a word. Well, take two. I'm that way. I mean, it's like, it's like,
Why
what?
do they want a word?
They were upset because I was making fun of somebody who was gay. I said, I'm not making fun of gay people. I'm making fun of that person.
Yeah.
It's not making fun. The guy hit on me.
Right.
I said, if you think I'm going to get hit on by a guy and not talk about it, you're mistaken.
Yeah, it's kind of your business.
I
That's
don't
what you
care
do.
I don't care what people do. Be you.
I mean,
be
it's a
happy.
story. You're
Yeah,
telling a story
tell a
about
story.
your life.
Yeah.
Big fucking deal.
But people are on guard all the time, and whatever happens in November,
Oh,
it's going to be. But why can't we have fun and laugh about it? And why can't we joke about it?
personally, I laugh about November already because I mean, by that point, whatever 2020 has to dole out, I mean, all you're going to be able to do is laugh at it.
Right.
It's just we are living in the theater of the absurd.
Totally.
It's just every day
Every
there's
day.
something else that I read or see somebody on TV say, and I'm just like, I don't know that person is in touch with reality.
it's scary sometimes what people are thinking and saying, and
It's just constant.
it's constant.
And it's from all sides.
No,
Like it's from all. There's assholes on all sides. Believe you me.
But think about where we are now.
You mean I have an asshole on the back and the front? Was that what you're saying? Nobody's ever told me that.
I've never heard that before, Matt. I don't know.
Okay.
If it's inverted,
I didn't do well in biology, but I don't know it.
if it's inverted that far, you've got other problems.
Other problems.
Yeah, that I might have to see a doctor then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the PC, the whole, I don't, look, but you gotta be careful what you say in 2020.
But should you?
I think we should be able to laugh.
Yeah.
And have a sense of humor, but I think people are so uptight right now. I just think it's hard for some people to find the humor within things.
But it seems though that the people that throw caution into the wind,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe this is just because they're gigantic names like Dave Chappelle and stuff like
sure.
that. Do you think that it's easier for somebody like that with a platform like his to say what he wants, do whatever he wants, and without
he's
fear?
known. Because he's known.
Like me. Yeah, I'm gonna be careful what I say. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
When I was
I
doing,
want to say
fuck
"fuck
are
you" to
you?
the wrong person.
When I was doing stand up, if you ever saw my act, half my act was beat your kids.
Yeah.
I told people to beat their kids. I have people get upset. Well, I just say beat up your kids. I'm like, you're the parent. You should beat your kids. That was the whole essence of my act. And I had people get up, come up to me and. You're like, look, relax. It's comedy.
It's a
If it was
joke.
therapy, I'd be sitting with you. Okay, I mean, come on. It's like, but beat your kids. And that's what I used to sell beat your kid T-shirts after my show, and they were, I had a picture of me, a cartoon picture of me, Bob Smith, comedian, family therapist, on the back. It was like BEATYOURKID, and every letter had a line like E. E was ether or chloroform worked great. It was like whatever. But come on, man, it's comedy.
Yeah.
But if you're not known, Dave Chappelle has a platform. Kevin Hart has a platform.
Yeah.
All these people. Bill Burr, who I think is one of the funniest guys.
Bill
Hilarious.
Burr is insane.
Hilarious.
That guy is
Bill
awesome.
Burr comedy is like 50% of my search history. I swear to God.
He's hilarious.
I'm pretty sure that Bill Burr, I would vote for him for president.
I don't think he'd take the job, but he.
Oh no, he
Not
would
if he-
talk
not if
shit
he was
about
smart, he
me for
wouldn't.
actually saying that.
Right. But you look at Gainesville, who we have in Gainesville. All that we talked about Emma
Yep.
and AJ before Harry, Zach Widener, Elena Watley. There's so many. Cameron Atkinson's a guy. I don't know if you've ever seen Cameron.
Oh, Cameron was here just a couple weeks ago.
He's hilarious.
We
Cam
we
was
had
here.
such a blast with Cameron.
That was
He's going to be
awesome.
here next week with AJ.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
But yeah, Cameron is hysterical,
He's
they're going to
fantastic.
move. I think
they're moving to Colorado.
Denver, right?
Yeah.
Which is going to be really hard for the Gainesville comedy family. But there's so many people and there was just as many 18, 19 years ago. The only difference is today is the fact that I think a lot of people think comedy's supposed to be easy.
Yeah.
Like I'm supposed to just be able to go up there, be funny, and then Netflix is going to assign me to a special.
Now, while not to that extent, our good friend Joe, one of my best friends, and he's played guitar in a band with me and done the podcast several times. He actually, when we first started bringing some comics on, he said, "Oh, man, I could get up there and do that."
Mm-hmm.
It was AJ who said, "Tell him to come down to the
Exactly.
and we'll get him up there.
Yeah, sure, we'll give him a
Let's
chance.
try it. He didn't do it.
Yeah, I could see him getting to a boxing ring and throwing some punches, but I don't know if he'd get on stage for a comedy show.
He thought about it.
But the biggest thing to overcome when you try to do comedy is what's the word? Fear.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to suck. Well, the bottom line is when you start doing comedy to get better, you have to suck.
Yes.
That's the only way you learn.
Yes.
And all these people think, if anybody tells you they never bombed, get away from their nose because he's going to poke your eyeball out. I mean, it's
what's your worst bombing experience?
there's 3 or 4
Yeah.
I can think of. I did a show actually here in Gainesville one time that I'm sure people who were there remember, and I had to drink it out of my mind that time.
Oh, shit.
There was one time I did a corporate gig,
Yeah.
which was horrible.
Right.
And during my act, I'd been doing comedy 15 years by this time, so I kind of knew what I was doing. And one of the women comes up and she hands me a note like I'm getting sent to the dean's office, and it says no more sexual material. That's my act. I'm like,
What am I?
good
Gotta
night.
go.
I'm done. You know, and so there's a couple, but
Yeah.
you know, it's when you're going when you start, you're going.
Yeah.
I mean, when you started doing this, it wasn't as smooth as this. It
God,
was
no.
awkward. It's the same thing.
There's like 4 of these that I forgot to hit record on. So I'm not bullshitting. I swear to God.
That has
Wait,
happened.
can everybody come back, please?
Like I keep looking over here. Oh, yep, we got lines going. So yeah, it's recording.
But that's the thing you got to get over is the
Yeah.
fear. And once you overcome the fear and you learn that, hey, you know what? I'm not, my life isn't going to end.
Yeah.
I'm not going to die. I'm going to live and grow up and live to tomorrow, hopefully. Bombing becomes, it's not the monster that you create it to be in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. And that's something that AJ's overcome, Cameron. And, Emma, you've had her on here, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
As mellow and laid back as Emma is, in my opinion, this is pretty much who I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty high energy kind of a person. Emma's completely the opposite from me.
Yeah.
Or AJ. So it's harder in a way for Emma to do stand up because you have to listen to her.
Yeah.
If you're in a venue where you're not listening to Emma, you're not going to get the jokes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Emma's hilarious.
She's fucking brilliant.
She's hilarious.
Doesn't AJ identify as Captain Autism?
Yeah.
Captain Autism.
Autism.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was diagnosed last year, I think. he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And,
that's
um,
when
and he
right around the
embraces
same time he
that
got into
shit.
Oh, yeah,
comedy.
it's hilarious.
He embraces it.
And
Well, that's the name of his podcast, is Story Time with Captain Autism.
autism.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's hilarious,
Yeah.
and he's embraced that, and that's going to be maybe his hook,
Yeah.
to get in.
Yeah.
Copes was that he's a big jolly kind of guy, but Cope, with Cope is, if you've ever seen Chris, I mean, he's probably one of the 5 or 6 funniest people I've ever known.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's hilarious.
I know he was in Gainesville like
Forever.
before COVID.
Yes,
did a show.
yeah, he's here. We had him at World of Beer.
Yeah.
He did. I think he did one at Rockies out there at Woodyard, and then we had him at 34th Street, and he was at Tioga before we left Tioga.
Next time he's in town, we
I'll
gotta,
let you
we gotta
know.
bring him on the show.
Oh yeah, he'll do it.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
well, I'm saying he'll do it. Yeah, sure. All right, Chris, just enough weed, he'll do it.
if you book him, he will come. There you go.
Yeah, he will. He'll come. But he's hilarious. I mean, but he, again, how much work do you put into it? He
Yeah.
put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even hardly go up anymore. I write every day.
Yeah.
And
When's the last time you did a? You
well,
did
I'm
a
gonna
set
I'm gonna
for
do
your-
it next week.
Yeah?
I might have a choice because AJ's going to be out of town at Flacco's.
Right.
So I got to go up and warm him up. But it's probably been before COVID
Yeah.
that I actually went up and did material and worked on it. And the last time I did a whole set was with Chris at Jamie's Club in Fort Myers back in May.
Wow.
And,
But you're going to be doing a show here in Gainesville?
Yeah, we do an open mic every Thursday down at Flacco's. It's a 7:30 show and a 10:30 show, and it's outside. They have the streets blocked off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it'd be nice. Cars can whiz them through. That'd be great. And then we have they have a canopy, so there's tables and chairs out there. And last week we had about 30 for the first show.
That's awesome.
35, and then I leave usually after the first show, but. Next week I got to do both because AJ's going to be out of town.
Yeah.
But AJ, he got that started. He got it. He called me up. Hey, what do you think about this? And we're working right now to get 3 or 4 maybe satellite kind of shows around the area, like Woodyard. We're working right now to do that. And
Yeah, see,
get
that's
that
what I'm talking
started.
about. He's got that next level thing.
He
You
does.
know, he's just always thinking of,
Always
of,
thinking.
of things like that. You
Yeah.
know, how can I make this
Better.
seem better? Better for everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's what's really nice about him is that he's not just doing it for himself. Like
No.
he wants to bring everybody with him.
Well, if you're going to do comedy, well, anything,
Yeah.
but especially comedy, if you're not going to do it to make people happy,
Yeah.
you're not going to do it for very
Then
long.
piss off. Why bother?
Right.
Right.
Because, the idea of, oh, man, I'll get, sex or I'll get drugs or I'll get alcohol, whatever it is you think or adulation, all that goes away.
Yeah.
And you better have the right attitude, in my opinion.
Right.
And if it's about making people happy and making them laugh, well, why are we here?
Yeah.
I like
And,
that. I like that a lot.
That's really how I feel about it. And AJ does that.
Yeah.
And I would say most of the people in the Gainesville comedy community, do that.
Yeah.
It's about making somebody. I mean, come on, man. People come to a comedy club. Why? They don't come to get a lecture.
Yeah.
They come because they want to laugh.
Just want to
'cause
have a
they-
good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And that's the thing. World of Beer was cool because it only held 50 people. So
Yeah.
we had a really good time in there. It
Oh,
was.
yeah.
It would get loud.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to getting back in there.
I can't wait. I'm excited. I
Yeah.
can't wait to get out and actually. I've had trouble with the virtual You know, I have trouble getting into it.
I can get into it. Yeah.
It's just hard. I mean, not being there, not feeding off the crowd and what's happening on stage, and that's hard.
And they did one last night.
It's really hard, like even like being like in the crowd. Like, how do you get into like a rock show if you're not actually there?
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm talking
Right.
about from the fans' perspective
I mean,
as
just
well.
like, even like going to like to Nick's shows, like when he was in like his different bands, and like he can even tell you, like I was like right there, center of the dance floor, and I'm just rocking out mosh pit.
Yeah.
And
Matt
I'm
is
rocking.
Gainesville's #1 hype man.
Hype man.
For
Okay,
sure.
Good. Okay, good.
And
100%.
it fucking blast. It was a blast.
Every video that is on YouTube of my band at the High Dive,
What was your band?
it's called Hollow Days.
Okay.
You'll see this guy in front in the crowd at some point, like, "Ah!" doing I promise you, every video. At one point, he's holding a child. We don't even know where the child came from. There was a video that happened.
He birthed it right there.
There
before.
was actually a child.
Yes, there was.
I don't even remember whose child that was. I just thought that it would be cool to
Get it
let
off.
her see the band.
Maybe
so
get it on
I just
Wayfair.
lifted her up. I don't. Why was she even allowed in there?
I have no idea. You were the one holding the child. That's all I know.
The High Dive did a virtual show last night.
Did they?
Yeah. And they had Anna Lepley, who's from Jacksonville, Dr. Anna Lepley. She's really funny. She came in and did it. And they had Elena Watley was there. Jennifer Vito, I think, hosted it.
Yeah.
I forget who. Gray Bean, who is lives in here in Gainesville. He was there, and I can't remember who else was on the. Those are people I saw. AJ went over. We went over and said hi to everybody.
Yeah.
Because we were getting ready for our show, and then, but yeah, the High Dive, has been doing comedy for a long time, and before it got demolished, the Midnight
Yeah.
had an open mic.
Wait,
They did.
Midnight's gone?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, they tore it down.
Did they really?
What?
Yeah,
I
Midnight's
just drove
gone.
by it the other day.
They destroyed. I know they destroyed the outside part of
That
it.
did not dissuade them from tearing it down, ironically
I
enough.
don't, yeah,
though.
there's something else is going to go in there. They're moving the comedy. I forget where they're moving it to. Over in the Sun Center, I think, is where they're moving some bar over there is going to do it. But yeah, I mean, there's so much, and there's so much talent in Gainesville. I mean, it's just it's really inspiring. All the people.
And excuse me, something that's always nice about Gainesville is there's always rotating talent. There's
Totally.
always people coming in. Playing in the band. It was always cool because you knew, like, we can't find a bass player, but we'll give it a couple months, and
Somebody will.
somebody will move into Gainesville, who plays bass.
And that was how the comedy was, when we started the Gainesville Comedy Showcase is, people be here for 4 years, and they graduate, and then, but between the 4 year, when they started, by that second or third year, there's another person coming, and that's the same way this year in Gainesville.
Yeah.
And there's just so much talent. Like I said, it's inspiring. It
Yeah.
really is. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, just in the year that we've been doing this, we were probably doing it a couple months, and trying to find our way.
Sure.
And it's like we need to find some interesting guests. Who's got comedians. Let's go out to a comedy show. I said I don't even know if there's any in Gainesville.
Oh wow.
So I started looking
Yeah.
them up, and sure enough, there was several.
Mhm.
And just in this last year, I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, the people that I've met and all, it's been great. Everybody's so welcoming and inviting. Into the community. And it's like I've had several of them on. Because it's like, yeah, it's all together. Come on, let's do this all together.
Right, right.
And, it's just been great. It's been a lot of fun. So there's a lot of really cool people.
And when you see somebody like AJ who's getting ready to leave, or you saw
Yeah.
somebody like Chris or JC or the people I mentioned before who left,
Mm.
and you see these people leave and they chase a dream, and some people may look at me and they may say, "Well, did you make it?" Well, I mean, I was never going to go to LA. I mean, there's reasons I'm here in Gainesville.
Why not?
This is where I'm supposed. My family.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to move them out to Los Angeles. It wasn't where I'm supposed to be here.
Right.
And so, I'm happy. I like helping other people. That's really exciting. And when you see somebody who they chase a dream, and you see them get to a certain level, what's your level? How you played in a rock band? Did you make it? I mean,
No.
Well, yeah, but so in a way, I didn't. But I did the road for 20 years. I mean, so
everybody has their
right.
their definition of making it.
Making it.
You know,
and
mine was having like gold toilets in my $1 million mansion, and just bowls full of cocaine,
sure,
hookers, and that's making it in rock and roll. So
I'm still waiting for you to do that.
it did not happen.
I will totally move in.
I'll give you the library.
I thought you were by the pool now. I thought it was.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, but there's not a pool full of cocaine.
Right?
See, we didn't make it.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean, not yet. We're working on it.
What's your definition of making it? Now, mine would, like I said, mine just, hey man, let's make some people happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And when we were very young, we went through a lineup change, and our bass player that we had moved and joined up with a band out of New York, and we brought in another guy, local guy, and he had 4 kids, has 4 kids.
Oh man,
and of course, actually, I think he only had 2 at the time. No, he's got 4. But my good friend Joseph Parker, and we brought him in, and we said, this guy's got kids. This guy's married. He's a couple years older than us. He's not going to want to be out on the road, touring, and
right.
And we all realized that we didn't really want to do that either.
Yeah,
we
sure.
were all very happy. Joe, he was getting married. It was just a few weeks after we brought in our friend Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I got married not too long after that, and we had kids, and so
Right.
we are absolutely ecstatic with how it all turned out.
Sure.
So I mean, we definitely hit the jackpot,
Except for the pool full of cocaine.
right.
Yeah.
We're still working on that. We're still working on that.
But when you start doing comedy, man, there's no money.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing shows for $25,
Well, that's the
$50.
thing. I tell people all the time. I played in that band for like 16 years, and I mean, I never made a dime. I never got paid for anything, because it all just everything we made went back into an account for the band
for the
and
band
all that stuff.
Sure.
So I mean, I did all those years just because it was fun.
It was
It
fun.
was great. It was entertaining. And you get to
I
meet
bought like 30
crazy
of your
fucks like
fucking
this.
tickets, dude.
I know. It was impressive.
And then I gave them all away.
Still,
Oh, wait.
Still,
he
the
didn't
best
comp
turnout.
you?
Huh?
He didn't comp you?
No, he didn't comp me.
No,
Fuck no.
this guy was my biggest seller.
There you go.
Yeah, because I bought all of them and then gave them away.
Yeah.
But that was awesome because it was actually the disc golf club,
Sure.
Yeah.
the Chainhawks, and we were out there one night, Friday night, and people were out there just hanging out, and I was just like, "Hey man, you want to go to a concert?" And they were just like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess. How much does it cost?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Here's a
Here's a
ticket."
ticket. Thank you very much.
It ended up being a huge success. I do remember that.
It was
That
even
a good
so
time.
much like we had like a huge group of us like wearing like the club T-shirts,
Sure.
and people were coming up to us like, "Oh, are you part of the band? Are you part of the band?" No, we're not.
You see that speaker? I put that there. I mean, it's like, all right. But I know it's like that's you're heavily involved in the Chainhawks here in Gainesville.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. We were talking before. I
Yeah.
just started playing.
You just got into disc golf.
Got into it. It was one of the things I do for cardio, and I went out to.
It's fantastic for cardio.
It's great. And I went out to
One
the
of our
north-
future guests is a disc golf sensation, man. When he comes on, you'll have to Mr.
Well,
Double G.
As long as we get
We're
him
getting
on,
him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it out right now because he said I read it on my text that
He'll do it.
he's in. So
His name is Garrett Girthy. He's
Girthy.
playing. He's actually on tour right now as a pro player.
Oh wow.
he's
Yeah.
he's like one of the top in the world or something though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, him,
He's
his
based out of
brother
Gainesville.
Evan.
I saw him on ESPN. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I saw him. Yeah.
Garrett might have been on ESPN.
Yeah, that's we're at my friend Julio's house, and his sons are into it.
Yeah.
They're like, his son Peter is married. He's out of the house, and his son Danny is in his 20s, and they all are into it. That's how I got started. We were
Right.
watching a tournament one day, And I think that did he go to Gainesville High School?
Probably.
I think that's
he
him,
was.
yeah.
He was born and raised in Gainesville. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on ESPN. I turned him on ESPN, and those guys. I've got my disc. What numbers are on my disc? Okay, it's a 4.
They make that shit look so easy.
Oh man,
I played once.
Dude, Garrett is so good that he actually he was throwing a disc that wasn't really in production at the time.
Wow.
But he had to make this like 240-foot shot to just get to the basket. And he drained it. Like right in the basket.
Is that
it's
a
called,
hole-in-one? That's what drained it
was
means?
It was a field ace. They call it a field ace.
Why can't they just fucking call it a hole-in-one?
Because it wasn't a hole-in-one.
So it was a birdie or a
it's something like that. Yeah.
Oh.
But so like he had his drive, and then he was sitting there, and then he made a 240-foot shot.
Is that good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a hard time walking 240 feet.
But
I mean, both.
But so this disc was out of production. Like they didn't actually make this disc anymore.
Uh-huh.
And because of how awesome of a shot Garrett made on that spot, they ended up actually like reproducing this disc with a double G stamp on it and putting Garrett's name on it.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I got a new disc. It's got a magnet, so it hits trees and water all the time. Every time I throw it, bing, splash. I mean,
dude, I have a lot.
It sounds
of
like
those.
Matt.
Yeah,
Matt hits trees and water. And
you've never even seen me play disc golf.
I'm talking about when you punch the tree.
Oh yeah, well there was that time.
And then you belly flop the water. So trees and water. It's kind of like
we were going to go out and play the North Course out there, and it's a lovely swamp. It's Have you been out there? It
Not
rained.
recently.
Oh my gosh, you couldn't play it. It was like
that's your like home turf right there, isn't it?
I live about a mile away from there.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't drain very well, or I mean,
Yeah,
it looked really cool to
They've
play.
been doing a lot of construction over there and stuff.
They did do a lot. They're still doing construction over there and stuff.
It's gonna be like forever.
Yeah,
It's a city thing, man.
Yeah, city share construction. Not saying anything bad about share in case you ever do anything on my house.
Calm. Because we do Jonesville, we play Jonesville all the time, and it's really I love it. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
we do a lot of stuff at Jonesville. Actually, the carpet pads over at Jonesville,
sure.
the orange and blue ones.
Oh, those are blue.
Yeah.
Oh, they're green. It's like, well, maybe it might be me. Go ahead.
But those actually came from UF Stadium at the Swamp.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there was old AstroTurf that was like sitting up there,
Interesting.
and my company that I work for got the carpet out there to actually put that out, and so
That's
the
cool.
carpet pads are actually from the Swamp.
That's really cool. I didn't know that, but we have a good time. I'm not very good. I mean, I just got a driver somebody gave me, and I throw it about 14 feet, without hitting a tree. I'm happy, I mean, seriously, I shot it. I went out this afternoon. I shot 8 over. For me, that was like one of my best rounds ever.
That's probably better than I would do.
And I got the sunburn to prove it. But it's great. It's good cardio, and but you see these guys out there who are all into it. They have the luggage,
yes,
the Samsonite, disc bag, or whatever it is.
That's this guy right here.
It's like
he's got a backpack full of discs and beer. I've seen it.
This guy was out there a couple weeks ago. He's got this gigantic bag. He's got like a golf caddy thing with him. And he's
called a Zuka.
A Zuka. Okay, I don't know the verbiage. So it's a Zuka. Okay, he had one, and he took a disc on the oh my gosh, it was the 16th hole, and he was on the orange pad because I played from the amateur. Well, I played from the pre-athlete pad. It's like, and he chucked it all the way, and then he hit the friggin' the pin thing on the fly. I'm just going, man, how does your arm not just fall off your body doing that? But he was really good, that guy. It's fun to watch. I mean, I just enjoy watching it.
Oh, you want to try some of
Go ahead and hit
Uncle Nearest?
Let's try the Uncle Nearest.
Nearest. This is from our buddy Shane last week, who was here last week. Shane Carl.
Is that bourbon also?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. There you go. Apparently, it's like the guy who originally made Jack Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
This was like the recipe, and then Jack Daniels sort of forced him out or something. So he went over and started doing his own thing. So it's pretty good shit.
So how old is that?
It's probably not like that.
No, when
old,
they start
but-
making it, basically.
It says 1856.
Oh, there you go.
So 100 proof. So it's pretty good.
That's only 100 years before I was born. That's not too bad.
1956, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're holding it together well.
Yeah, thank
Really
you.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm right there with Captain America. I was actually frozen in the ocean for a little while.
Polar ice cap.
Yeah.
So Bob, I see a lot of I see you doing a lot of baseball talk
Oh yeah.
on your
Yeah,
Facebook page
yeah.
there.
I had a baseball card shop, a sports memorabilia shop for about 8 years here in
Yeah.
Gainesville. And yeah, I love baseball's my favorite sport.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now, is that a Boston Red Sox hat?
That's a
there?
Brooklyn Dodgers hat.
Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah,
hat?
I'm a
Okay.
Braves-
I
I'm a
wasn't.
Braves
I
fan,
wasn't
but-
sure.
Yeah.
You know.
How do we not have Joe Herschel here right now?
Well, I don't know.
Because
we should have called him.
because you and I could have just like sat over in the corner, like far away.
That's probably why. That's probably why.
And they could
Because then I'd end up in a corner with you.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm
Wait,
about
nobody
big-
wants to be in a corner with Matt.
No.
Nobody puts Nick in a corner with Matt.
My pal Joe is a baseball fanatic. You know,
Yes.
he loves baseball and loves baseball cards. I know
Yep.
he's got a handful of Mickey Mantles and stuff.
Sure.
And,
Sure.
You could ask him like any question, like who was the MVP of the 1972 All-Star team?
Right.
Then he would just be like, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, he'll know it.
with this many hits and
He's-
this many RBIs and blah 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 blah.
He's actually probably naming it off right now. 'Cause I know he
He's listening.
listens to these episodes. So he's probably naming it off right now.
But yeah, I've been a Braves fan since
Yeah.
I can remember.
We did a show in. I always like to tell this story because it's kind of cool. We were doing a show in Ocala at a place called O'Malley's Alley, and there's a couple guys hanging out in the back. I had no idea who they were initially, and then I saw one of the guys ended up being Mike Hampton,
Sure.
and
Pitcher. Yep.
I didn't know the other guy because I didn't follow the Braves or anything like that. I was a Yankees guy, and, but apparently the other guy that he was with was Chipper Jones.
Oh no way.
And they're standing
That's
there at the
funny.
bar,
Yeah.
and we finished our set and walk up to the bar, and bartender Amy, she was the best bartender down there. She says, "Hey, thank you," because during the show I always said, "Hey, make sure you tip your bartenders. We're going to take you out back and kick the shit out of you." So I would say something like that, and she said, "When you made that announcement, Chipper Jones walked over, threw $50 on the bar, and off they went about their evening." So
That's great.
that's my Chipper Jones story.
That's great.
I told him he better tip, or we're going to take him out back, kick shit out.
When I was doing card shows, back
Like
when
you
when
could
I was-
actually beat the shit out of Chipper Jones.
Hey, he heeded the warning. That's,
That's
all
right.
I'm
That's
saying.
all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Okay.
You need the warning. I got to meet.
He was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, this guy just
This
put
guy
it
ain't
Yeah.
fucking around.
That's right. Put the fear of God in it. Like, come here, Larry. It's like, but I mean, Shipper. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But when I was going to card shows, like, and just going.
Yeah.
I mean, the people I got to meet Tom Seaver, who just passed away.
Right.
Tom Seaver was so nice to me. Henry Aaron,
Yeah.
which is
Wow.
like meeting.
That's
for me,
that's incredible.
to me, Henry Aaron was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Him and Clemente, it was like 1A and 1B for me as a kid growing up. But I love baseball. I don't like what they're doing to the game. I don't like Rob Manfred. I think Bud Selig was the all-time douche of a commissioner that we had. Anybody who just takes, first of all, Bud Selig steals the pilots from Seattle basically to become the Milwaukee Brewers. Then he appoints himself commissioner. Then he decides to have his friends vote him into the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on, man.
I was a huge baseball fan for a long time. Like I said, I followed the Yankees.
Sure.
A-Rod coming to the Yankees,
Yeah.
and the couple years that followed, it just did me in. I was
Really?
just tired of all the drama.
Drama, yeah,
and
sure.
I was like, man, let's just fucking play baseball.
Right.
Can we do
Yeah.
that? I don't give a shit about all this other stuff. And I couldn't even tell you one person starting lineup for any team.
Come on.
None.
Jeter.
I mean now.
Oh, now.
No,
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't tell you anybody who plays.
Oh, so you don't even watch baseball
I
at
don't
all?
watch baseball.
You know,
at all.
A-Rod gets a bad rap, but I got to tell one quick story about A-Rod.
Yeah.
We had a kid that used to come in our store.
Mark Wahlberg shot him.
When?
And the other guys. It was
Yeah,
a movie.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
No,
Yeah.
that was Jeter.
No, that was Jeter.
It was
Oh,
Jeter.
that was
he
Jeter.
shot.
That was
It was
Jeter.
Jeter,
He shot
right.
Jeter.
Oh,
He shot Jeter.
Oh my
which
God.
was funny.
Yeah. So this kid was a huge Yankees fan.
Yeah.
And his mother and father had more money than they knew what to do with. So they were going to go down to Tampa for a week of Yankees spring training baseball.
Okay.
And this kid is calling me every day. Mr. Bob, I just got Frank Howard. Mr. Bob, I just got Mariano Rivera. Mr. Bob, I just got Bobby Cox, whoever was down there,
Right.
you know. So he calls me up, and this kid's screaming into the phone. I mean, I have it like 4 feet away from my ear. Mr. Bob, you won't believe what happened to me. Mr. Bob, I'll see you Sunday. Click. So Sunday afternoon, here comes their car. The door is open. The car's still moving. This kid's jumping out of the car as it's moving. The mother's yelling at him. He runs in. So A-Rod gets a bad rap. This is why I'm telling this story.
Yeah.
A-Rod's in the cage, and it's a training day.
Right.
And they're over by the dugout and watching A-Rod take back. His mother was very pretty, which, that probably helped a little bit. So A-Rod's
Absolutely.
A-Rod's hitting balls, and he walks over with the bat. He's going to put the bat in the bat rack. There you go. And I haven't even had any of that stuff yet. I'm talking like this. So the kid goes, Mr. Rodriguez, will you sign my jersey for me? And the kid's like, A-Rod's like, you don't want me to sign your jersey. And then the mother's like, people start going, harumph kind of thing. A-Rod takes the black Sharpie pen out of the kid's hand, takes the bat, and signs the bat Alex Rodriguez 03-05 MVP.
Nice.
Hands it to the kid. And, of course, this kid, by this time he's in a coma.
Yeah.
And A-Rod goes, is there anything else you'd like me to sign? He got a ball, his jersey, his hat. I mean,
Wow.
think about it. And A-Rod gets a bad rap.
He does.
But he
does.
did that for that kid, and that made that kid's life.
Yeah.
And the bat had pine tar, and if you looked at the top of the barrel, there was like a hairline crack. Probably the next pitch, it would have broken, and he knew it. And it's a complete bat.
He didn't want anybody to see the cork.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's it.
I'm kidding.
But no, he did that for that kid. And
That's awesome.
Austin Bush is that. They live in Texas now too.
That's awesome.
But it was cool.
That is incredible. That is really
It was
cool.
really cool.
That would definitely make a kid's entire life.
Oh, my God.
He's gonna
Absolutely.
be talking about that until the end of his days.
Yes.
And I haven't seen Austin or talked to him in probably 8-9 years, but I would think he still has the bat.
Yeah.
But when that door of that car came open, I thought the kid was just going to fly out in the parking lot. I'm like, oh my gosh!
What kind of like cards? Obviously nowadays, I collected when I was a kid.
Sure.
In the 80s, but I think by then everybody has sort of figured it out. Like, oh, these things are worth money, and then everybody started saving them, and now they're not worth anything.
A lot of that stuff from the late 80s, early 90s, they way overproduced.
Yeah.
But even stuff today,
The wood grain border, the tops 87.
87. I only got about 250 million of those in my house. I mean, it's like, come on. But everybody, Barry Bonds rookie card,
Yeah.
everybody thought that, oh my gosh, this is going to be worth $8,000 a piece. But it's there are key cards from that era.
Yeah.
The Ken Griffey Upper Deck card, which is probably one of the Grail, not the Grail card, but one of the most collected cards there is.
So why the Ken Griffey?
It was the
Upper
first
Deck?
year Upper Deck made a set.
Okay.
And it was card number 1 in the set.
Oh.
So it's a very collectible card. But in the 80s, you had Cal Ripken as a rookie, and in the early 90s, you had A-Rod and Jeter as rookies.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of rookie cards that you should try to get for your collection if you are still doing that.
You know what? I had stacks. I
Sure.
mean, I had books and boxes, and
Yeah.
I had friends that would stop collecting and say, "Here's
Here,
my
take this,"
cards,"
right.
and I would. And it got to a point where it was overwhelming, and I got rid of them. I
And
gave them.
What about
I did the
like,
same thing that many people had done to me, and I
Yeah.
think I put it on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Somebody who had like 1 million cards already came and scooped them up.
Sure.
That was it.
What about Robin Yount?
Yeah, 75 Robin Yount.
Yeah.
I'm not sure off the top of my head what it's worth anymore, but I mean,
what about
rookie card.
what about the Billy Ripken card
Now they made there's 3 different.
with the bat?
Right.
Right.
There's the one that has the words on it,
Yeah.
and then there's a black box on there on the knob, so you can't see the words. And there's a rare version with a white box.
What?
And I can't remember. I mean, I don't have in front of me. I can't remember what those were worth, but the white one is worth the most.
Really?
Yeah. And that was a very collectible card. I used to have one of those. I still have a black one, and I still have the one with the word on it.
Wow.
But the Billy Ripken card, sure. But there's all kinds of but vintage. You want anything before like 70.
Didn't they find like a stack of cards in somebody's attic?
I think it was Honus Wagner or Ty Cobb or somebody they found up in Georgia.
They were like the first
Yeah.
set of card, and they had like the whole set mint condition stuck in an attic for like 100 years.
Yeah.
They were worth like millions or something.
Yeah, there are so many stories you hear like that.
Yeah.
Where you hear somebody they don't know what they have, and it was in their attic for, like you said, 100 years in some house, and then they make this gigantic find. But the card now, I guess that everybody would be wanting to collect would be the Mike Trout Topps Update rookie would be the big card, because those things probably sell $350 ungraded.
What's so special about the Mike Trout card?
Well, he's the greatest player in the game, and it was an update series. It wasn't just in the regular set. It was like at the end of the year they did an update.
Oh, okay.
So that's a very collectible card right now. The graded ones.
Is he really considered the greatest player in the game?
Oh yeah, right now. Yeah, Trout. Oh yeah, he's amazing.
That's how much I don't know about baseball. I've never even heard of Mike Trout.
Well, and the thing is, the Angels suck. They
you
suck
could
for
be
his whole
totally
career.
bullshitting me right now, and
No,
I'd
I'm
have
not.
no clue.
No, and the Angels suck, and the Angels suck. I mean, complete ass. And they're when are they going to be good? They're going to waste his whole career unless they get rid of him.
Are the Angels in the NFL? Like,
He follows it even less than I do.
They're in the AL, But baseball,
and they play in soccer.
Soccer, right? Soccer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm totally.
You're
on
right
board
on. You're on board right
Yeah.
here. We're good.
Yeah. I got it.
We're good. But I mean, no, it's Trout's great.
What's the most expensive, like, rarest card that you've seen?
That I've seen.
That you've like
held my hand.
Holy shit!
I saw a 52 Mantle.
Yeah.
From Topps. I've had it in my hand before. I don't own it.
Yeah.
The most expensive card I own. I don't know. I've got a 55 Jackie Robinson that's pretty nice. I've got a 56 Koufax and a 56 Clemente. It's the second year. But I don't. I've got a bunch of cards, but I don't know what my prize. I guess my prized. I've got a Roberto Clemente signed 1969 Topps card. That's probably my favorite.
That's awesome.
Card that my mother got me 20-something years ago. Over 20 years ago.
Wow.
That I've had. It's framed, and I have it. My brother, Stephen, he collects products and advertising, and every year we go to the Collectors Day event at the Museum of Natural History.
Yeah.
And I'll bring some of my sports stuff. I'll bring some framed pictures I have and stuff, and I usually bring that. And I have to explain who Roberto Clemente was. He died in a plane crash. You're like, and did he play baseball?
I was actually going to try to go to that this year.
The
collectors.
The last one?
Yeah.
So
I thought I'd try to find some cool, unique folks who collect some interesting thing.
That's the place to go. If you've never been, it's like the two things Gainesville has to me that are really cool is the Collectors Day event. And then the Friends of the Library book sale. Have you ever been to that?
No.
It's Gainesville's version of the Running of the Bulls. I mean, it is people camp out the night before.
Are you kidding me?
Stephen and I, my brother Stephen, I take him to it. We get there at 5 in the morning on Saturday morning. There's like 40 people already who spent the night, and they're in sleeping bags and they're on chairs.
What are they there for?
Books, videos, record albums. They have all kinds of stuff. It's in this giant room off Main Street. The Friends of the Library. It's right near SunTrust.
You know
Bank.
what? I was going to talk some shit, but you know what? People camping out for books is probably more what we
videos.
need
You should see
in this world these days.
And they have a guy who comes out like right before it starts with a bagpipe. A bagpipe
What?
guy. Yeah, it comes out. He's in the whole kilt and everything.
How have I not known this?
And then they open
There's
it up.
a dude
and
with a kilt playing bagpipes, and it's free books.
No, you have to buy them.
You have to buy. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they have a collector's area, and then they have it's all divided off. Like I was there.
Are these like old library books or something?
No,
or?
it's like donated books. I picked up a brand new copy of Ball 4 signed by Jim Bouton the last time I was there.
Wow.
I got it for like $3.
When do they do this?
Twice a year. Now they didn't do it this spring because of COVID, and they're talking now. I understand about if they're going to be able to do it in October, because of COVID.
Probably not.
Probably not, I would think.
I don't even. A lot of people are even talking about getting rid of trick or treating and stuff. It's kind of
Man,
depressing.
It's depressing.
This was like the year for trick or treating too. I mean, it's a full moon, Saturday night.
Oh yeah,
it's perfect.
Well, you're talking about doing a little.
Oh yeah, I'm doing some stuff. We're gonna do it up. We're gonna take care of the kids
really?
around here. Yeah, we're gonna do we're gonna build a haunted walk back here.
Oh, that's cool.
In the woods and scare the shit out of some kids. So get a bunch of candy and scare them and sugar them up and send them home.
Yeah, sugar them up. Exactly right. I remember and you
just let me know what you need. I can bring out some tools. I can get some materials, and we can.
I'll come help
some
you.
Shit
Oh
up.
yeah, you're on board.
Yeah.
I'll come help. Yeah,
Trust
let's do it.
Yeah, more the merrier.
But you see kids now, man.
We need Carl out here.
Nick, how old are you now?
I just turned 40 this past
You're 40.
July.
Okay, I'll be 60 in November.
Yeah.
And
Oh man, you're old as fuck.
I know.
I don't know if you're invited.
No, it's I got some Viagra, so it's okay. But it works. It works. And so it's
We're talking about trick or treating, man.
I thought we were in the pool of cocaine. I thought we were in the pool. So anyway, but I remember like we go at night.
Yeah.
And now kids in the neighborhood. It's like 4:00 in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
What is that all about?
What is it all about? It's like come on. And,
Hey man, we ain't even watched Wheel of Fortune yet. Calm down.
Calm down.
We're not giving out candy yet.
I got a friend in Sunrise. They have like buses that
We
park
still have
off
a
Tower
pool
Road.
full of cocaine.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Get out of here.
They bagged it up yet, man. Come on. I remember when I was a kid in my neighborhood. When I was we grew up across from Royal Park, and someone had given some candy and had it was laced with LSD.
No shit.
Yeah, like
That really happened.
1970.
Amazing.
Yeah. And like, of course, all the candy that was personally, bagged.
Yeah.
All that went in the garbage. Well, I think my mom kept some because she was a teacher. But, so my mom taught for 33 years.
Yeah.
At Westwood.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 33 years. My mom was an amazing woman. 33 years, and she never needed glasses. That's the truth.
Whoa.
And she drank right out of a bottle. I'm here all week. But no, but my mom did. She taught. But I mean, that happened like 1970, 71, something like that. And that was the last year you could take. People would put candy corns in a twisty tie bag. All that was done.
Oh man.
But yeah, man. But Halloween is not the same. It's just not the same.
I mean, when I was a kid, on Halloween, you wore your costume to school.
Yeah.
Everybody paraded through. Like we did that sort of thing for every holiday.
Yeah.
Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween. Like it was just different, man.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Michigan for 10 years.
Okay.
In Flint.
Right.
Drinking water capital of the U.S. And then I
was
came
about
down
to ask
here.
you, just like, how was the water up there?
It was great when I was a kid. I guess after that, after I left, the place went to shit. So, I guess.
Where'd you grow up?
Did you work at Ford or Chevy?
No, I was 10 when I left.
Yeah.
So,
well,
he was stealing Fords and
that's
Chevys
when I
at
came
10.
to Fort Myers. That's how I know.
Okay,
that's,
gotcha.
that's how I know about flashbacks.
Yeah. That was a crazy place.
Oh yeah,
It was great.
yeah.
I remember the cops coming there one time, and these girls, because you remember they had those pod things that people would be dancing on. They had those like bricks things in the.
I never went in. I was a kid when I knew about that place. I was a
It was
kid.
great. It was great. It was a lot of fun for the flashbacks. It was fun, and one night we were there. It was like a complete episode of Live PD happened right in front of us. I mean, these girls, they got into a fight. It spilled out into the street, into the parking lot right there. And all right, come on. And the cops took them all the way to jail. But that happened a lot. There was a club up in Kingsland, Georgia, I used to go to.
I've been there.
At the Ramada Inn. It's no longer there.
Yeah.
But every time I did a show there, every time there was a fight. And one time I told the club manager,
These are consistent.
I said, "Aren't you worried about like people getting shot in here?" Yeah, we're fearful. We're worried about it. And but then they moved the room to a bar in town.
Yeah.
And I'm there, and I finished the show. Show's over. Standing around the guy, man, y'all miss it down to Ramada. Guy got shot. You're like, damn.
The one time.
The one time. But it was all, man, that's the thing about doing comedy that was so much fun. The people you met.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you were in a band,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
it was a lot of fun, the people you'd meet.
dude, even just like me, just like being around around the band.
Yeah.
Like I got to introduce the band one time. I got to get up on
cool.
stage,
That's
and
cool,
that
yeah.
was awesome. And I'm outside, and I go to get a beer, and
He
people
was
are
like,
coming-
"This is it. I can die now. I can die now.
Yeah.
I've done
I had a mohawk and everything.
You did.
I was all like set up for it.
He was stoked.
And so I'm outside and I'm grabbing a beer and a group of girls come up and they're just like, "Hey, are you part of the band?" And I'm like, "No, not really."
I've told him every day since. You should have said yes. When you have a group of girls at a bar walk up and say, "Are you with the band?" You always say yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
You want to see the tour bus?
They were still talking to me. They were just like, "Oh, well, we wanted to talk to you like this whole time," and I'm just like,
You are.
"I don't know why."
I don't know why.
I'm very good with words.
Yeah.
So I tell them I
Clearly.
don't really know why.
Fucking wordsmith over here.
All right, so they were like sitting there like trying to like hit on me and stuff like that, and I was completely oblivious to the entire thing, and now I'm just like, I don't know why you want to talk to me.
I got flirted with at a stoplight one time.
Wow.
It was dark. It was nighttime. I was in my truck. I pulled up at the light, and this young woman in the passenger seat of the car next to me kind of does this little, "I like your truck." And
you like how like accurate that sound was that he
it was
just made?
right on the money, right?
Yeah.
What can I say? I got side jobs, bitch. The next thing I hear, because this was to my left. The next thing I hear is from the right, and it's my wife going, "I like your truck." Fucking bitch. She's still every now and again she'll remind me of that. I don't care. It was great. I was
Sure.
like, "What's up?"
That's Fort Myers was there were a lot of interesting ladies in Fort Myers.
Oh,
Fort
yeah.
Myers. It was a great place to go. I miss it.
It was, Fort Myers. The funny thing about that is, I grew up there from the time I was 10 to the time I was 18. Well, I left when I was 20 for good.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 years I spent there. Worst fucking 10 years ever. I hated it. And the thing is that after I left there,
Sure.
Fort Myers, for some reason, got their shit together and was like, "Oh, we better put in stuff like skate parks and street lights and shit like that."
Roads.
They totally. You ever been downtown Fort Myers?
Oh yeah, sure.
So there's a street corner. It's First and Hendry,
Okay.
where we always used to meet up, me and my friends. The street, one street over, in beautiful downtown Fort Myers, looked like a war zone. It looked like a bomb had gone off. There was no street. It was dirt. There was piles of rocks and like shards of debris and shit everywhere. It was a shithole. It was terrible. I went back there a couple years ago,
It's all nice.
and I was like, "This is paved. This is a nice." They're playing music out behind there. There used to be some
Streetlights.
bums pissing on the back of this
Right.
building, and now they're playing smooth jazz.
Yeah.
What the hell happened? At some point, they just
That was
figured it out.
actually me.
playing smooth jazz. I had no
No,
idea you were such a Kenny G fan.
No, I was playing smooth jazz while I was taking a piss.
piss. on the
That
wall,
sounds
yeah.
more correct.
Yeah.
It really does.
At least it's what I thought was smooth jazz.
I don't know what happened to him though. It was. I mean, it was an okay place to grow up as a kid. It
Yeah,
was a
sure.
safe place.
Right.
You know, I never thought we were gonna get thrown in a van or anything like that. But it was all right.
Yeah, it's
but
a
it
cool
was
place.
boring. There wasn't
Yeah.
shit to do as a kid. So every kid left. Like I don't think I know anybody that's still. There's like two of my good friends that live down there. I think that's probably about it. Everybody else is all over the country. They just got the fuck out.
Did you ever go to the Laugh-In ever?
No.
Because Jamie remodeled. It's really nice. He did a really good job remodeling it, and it's a really. If you hear this, and you're in the Fort Myers area, you should definitely go by and check it out.
Oh, when I go down to Fort Myers, should I ever get back down that way, I'll
gotta
definitely go
go.
down there.
Yeah.
I know we did a little promo for when AJ went down there and did a show. We threw out.
He's going
threw it
back.
up there.
I think he's there December 13th. I'm
Yeah,
going back in
something like that.
November. Chris and I are going to go
Cool.
cope. And then AJ's going.
Well, hit
down.
us up. Like maybe we can make it down there. And
Let's do it.
To Fort Myers?
It's Thanksgiving weekend when I'm there, so I don't know if you guys want to come down that weekend. It's Thanksgiving weekend.
that's actually my sex anniversary. It's Thanksgiving weekend.
From the girls and the girls you talked to that night.
What the hell is it?
What's that?
Is that a thing?
The first time that you had sex with the girl that you're with is your sex anniversary.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that a thing?
yeah.
Shut up.
And I had sex with Courtney for the very first time.
She's
on
going to be
Thanksgiving.
so thrilled that you said that. On Thanksgiving at the table?
No. This was afterwards. This was afterwards.
So wait. So this is on Thanksgiving?
On Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let's do tell.
Lions and the
So-
Cowboys are over.
So was this a spontaneous thing?
Actually, it wasn't, which is surprising.
This was planned.
It was actually a couple days before.
Did you bring protection? Was it?
Yeah.
He was the guy pissing on the wall
Did,
outside.
yes,
Yeah,
that's true.
exactly.
Did you always have protection on you, or was this just
No, I
you
went.
knew it was going down?
I went specifically
It's
to
about
get
to
some
go
protection.
down.
I went specifically to get protection.
Yeah,
and
you lambskin kind of guy.
All right, so
I'm gonna milk this. I'm sorry.
You
We're
go get protection. Go ahead. Matt, go ahead.
so no, it was actually a couple of days beforehand that because we didn't live together or anything like that. So she was just like, I'm ready to have sex with you.
right
And
after this turkey.
I was like, I could be there in 2 minutes.
I've got the baster ready.
And she was like, well, how about Thursday?
I
And
came here to do two things: eat some turkey and fuck Matt. And I'm almost out of turkey. Is that how it went?
And she's also a vegetarian, so
Okay.
all right. Now I'm not gonna let Courtney listen to this podcast.
Okay.
Yes,
So no turkey. We're talking mashed potatoes. Even better. All right.
Yeah, mashed potatoes.
So
She wanted to mash my potatoes.
was this just like a all right? Was this like after dinner? This is going to happen. Was this like a known thing?
Yeah, was it known?
Was it agreed upon? Here are my terms.
It was some like we had just been dating for a little bit,
How long?
and since October,
She made you wait a
so
month.
about a month,
Almost 2 months. Well,
Yeah.
middle October.
Middle October, right?
Good for Courtney.
Yeah.
Way to hold it
She's
in
a
there.
lady. She's a lady.
That's right.
That's right.
So so she decided that that was a good time to try it out,
To bang your head against the wall.
and I obliged.
All right, if I have to.
Or was this at her house?
It was in her apartment.
Oh.
Yeah, where she was living when she was doing her undergrad. And it was
I gotta
Dude, all right.
I gotta admit, though,
so here's
it would have been a better finish if it was like
Here-
at the house after fucking while everybody else is
Well,
out
no,
eating
this is-
pie.
Yeah.
This
You're
is
eating
better.
pie.
So is it? Yeah.
We're there. We're on the same page.
All right, so another cool thing about it was is that it was a 2-story complex, and it was all hardwood floor, and it was a really old building. So when you're walking around, like, you can hear people walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her bed frame was on wheels.
Okay.
So as I'm doing my thing, the wheels are going back and forth. So that the
Next thing I
people-
know, we're in the living room.
Screw this roll away.
everybody in the entire building knew what was going on.
That's-
As well they should have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Was this a daytime thing or was it nighttime?
This was late at night, so they're probably trying to go to sleep,
Late at
like
night,
sleeping
yeah.
off that turkey and everything, and then
Did you light some candles or anything or
Right.
just get right to it?
we made out for a little bit. Watched a little bit of Anne of Green Gables.
That's the aphrodisiac. That's it. Oh my God.
Can you watch that movie to this day without getting ready to go?
Excited.
It's not a movie; it's a TV series.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, fuck me.
So, if we're gonna be talking about something personal, how about we actually keep things accurate?
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Things like those the details are important.
And you're still with Courtney?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
good. I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, I mean, until tomorrow.
Until this episode comes out anyway. You got till Sunday. Then he'll be out here
Right.
on the pool deck with a hammock.
And the cocaine in the pool. Already. Courtney, it's all in fun. We talked about earlier in the show. You got to have a sense of humor. So we're all here to have fun.
The wonderful thing I could say about Courtney is that we would have this exact same conversation if she was sitting right there, and you know it, and she'd laugh about it.
That's good.
But she would have been quicker to correct on the turkey, probably.
She probably would. Yeah.
Jesus.
She's a lot smarter than I am. She's got like a master's degree. Yeah, something else.
What did she have a master's degree in?
Something to do with water.
Hydrology ecology.
I feel like you made that up. That sounds like some shit you made up.
I'm out.
I wish I could actually make
Is
that up.
that really a thing?
Yeah.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah, hydrology ecology.
I feel like that's something that somebody was like, I need a cool slogan for a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Hydrology ecology. Like, boom, you got a shirt.
That doesn't sound like a cool slogan for a T-shirt at all.
If you're into that kind of thing,
Yeah.
though, it does.
Sounds good.
What, hydrology or ecology? Which one?
Both.
Both.
You put it on a
Well,
T-shirt.
that's what she did, and now she has a master's
I want to
degree
know
in
if there's
it.
a T-shirt, though.
Yeah.
Probably. Some nerd out there. Probably
Porchville
has it.
shirt, man. Hydrology ecology.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
for the Porchville.
Well, it does now because we've talked about it on Porchville.
Okay. All right.
This is awesome.
I mean,
So
if
that's
you
the
pay
thing.
for it.
I mean, I'm not wearing it.
Courtney might.
Courtney might, right? Oh, man.
I like that Courtney just came up to be like the center of the conversation.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Put your dick away, man. So,
Well, that's how the conversation came up because my dick came out.
you're going to kill me here. Oh. So.
And
Rein it back in. Rein it back
We're
in.
having fun, regardless what y'all think. This is really a good time.
That's the magic of Porchville.
Yeah.
It's the magic of Porchville. Oh, so. Whew.
so now what do you want to talk about?
He's the moderator.
I'm trying to pull it together. So you got so you're going to be doing some comedy down in Fort Myers here. What kind of stuff are you talking about these days in your act? Like what do you what's funny to you?
That's the hard part for me is everything's funny. So I mean, when
Yeah.
I write comedy, when I write stuff, I think everything's funny. And when I listen, I mean, come on, he just did 20 minutes about his girlfriend. I mean, come on, it was great. You heard me laughing the whole time. I mean, so that's one of my biggest hurdles is trying to what do I think is funny that everybody else is going to laugh at.
Do you think though, like Matt's sitting here talking about it, he's delivering, and we're laughing, we're having a good time.
Yeah, it's great.
But do you think it's funnier because he's just telling a
Just
story?
be himself.
He's not trying to. But if he was to try to tell that same story on stage, or just any comedian, a similar situation like this, do you think that it'd be more forced so that maybe, is it? Because I think a lot of it's in the delivery, obviously.
Obviously.
So,
Yep.
I just wonder, when you hear something like that and you go, that would make a fucking funny bit.
Right.
But then you go up there and you tinker around with it. Maybe that changes the delivery, and maybe that sort of changes the story overall.
One of the things that I try to teach people, you're right, show people is when I don't have it with me in my car, but I carry a digital recorder with me everywhere I go.
Except here.
Except here. Yeah, 'cause you don't want to get caught for bootlegging.
That's okay. Nick has one right there.
Yeah, right there.
I mean, yeah,
It's
we're
all
we're,
being
we're,
recorded.
we're rolling. I think
So
we should be.
So yeah, push the button again. So we're there. So I can't. So a minute I think something funny.
Yeah.
Blah blah. It's in blah 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 blah. It's in a recorder.
Right.
Because the first time it comes out of your mouth, most of the time, is the funniest it's ever going to be.
Yeah.
The trick is, or not the trick, but the secret, I guess, is when you get about 5 to 8 minutes. I tell everybody 5 to 10 minutes. Don't edit yourself. Just record what comes out of your mouth. Sit down, take out a piece of paper, hit play, and just transcribe it out verbatim. Don't edit.
Right.
Transcribe it out. And then what I do is then go back and read it back into the recorder. And your brain, it'll be like a running back. You'll see holes you can go through.
Right.
And that's really how I do develop my material. So if I see something that makes me laugh, it's like this actually happened to me. So I'm in a seafood restaurant in Jacksonville. This is a couple months ago, and this guy is sitting at the table next to me. He weighs about 4,000 pounds. I mean, he's a pretty big guy, right? And he's eating the Captain Sampler, which is like crab legs and scallops and a Cuban boat family. I mean, it's like, he's just shoveling it in. It's disgusting. And he's just raw. It's like I feel like I'm at backstage at the zoo. This is how we feed the tiger, you know. And it's just there's all over his face. He has that bib with a lobster on it.
I'm picking up.
And he gets done. He leans back in his chair. I thought the back was going to snap right off the back of the chair. He starts rubbing his gut and he goes, "Lord, I got to walk this off." Oh my God, where are you walking? Europe? I mean, it's like, come on. Okay, so then that happened, right? I'm out of my car, blah 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 blah. You know, I think, and then I started thinking to myself, okay, so like, you know, walk this off. That's not a walk off.
Yeah.
That's 8,000 walk off. Your jaw wired shut for a damn year. I mean, come on, let's go. But so you see something like that. So the story he just told is hilarious. We got it recorded.
Right.
So you just go back through, you listen to it. Where can I fine tune it? Where can I take some stuff out or maybe add some stuff in? And so when you do materials, and that's the one thing when people start to do comedy, it's never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
If you're worried about being perfect, you're never going to do it because it's gotta be. I gotta say exactly no.
Yep.
Because you're talking to a group of people. I can't, you know, when I tell people to beat their kids, I tell stories about like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like my father, when I was a kid, my old man, I thought me and my brother's name, which you two assholes tell us 16 years old. He just looked at us with a cigarette, you know, what do you two assholes think you're doing? You know, that was it, right? And my dad taught me how to smoke. Well, my dad cured me of smoking when I was like 9 years old. Because my dad made smoke like you guys. He made smoke look cool. You know, he could blow it out of his nose.
Yeah.
And, you know, I said, I want to try a cigarette. My old man's like, listen, asshole, you don't want this. And I'm like, well, you do it. Well, you don't need to do it yourself. I said, come on, I want to try it. He goes, all right, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a cigarette. But if you take one puff, you have to smoke the whole thing down to the filter. Oh, shit. Something, how hard can it be? I've seen him do it 100 times, right? So he starts laughing. Like, you know, he's like, okay, you know, lights it up, hands it to me. And right before I threw up, he says, suck it in real hard.
Oh, man.
And I took one big hit, and I just coughed out my lungs and my stomach and my heart. Yep. I'm looking out on the floor. And then I'm handing it back to him. I'm like, it's terrible. And my whole man, I'll never forget these two words. Finish it.
Oh, God.
And it made me take like 2 or 3 more hits off it.
Oh, shit.
I never smoked again. You know, he cured me of it.
Now,
5 years later, he's drinking a beer. And I'm like, you know, can I try that? And he looks at me and goes, what are you going to try this for, asshole? You forgot that cigarette, didn't you? I'm like, I thought for 10 more years beer tastes like alcohol. I'm like, cigarettes. You know, I'm like, it's just how do you drink that crap, you know? But that's just the kind of stuff that stuff like that happening to me in my life or stuff I see, like the guy at the restaurant. And you just talk about stuff that happens to you. And that's the way comedy has changed, in my opinion. And I don't know if other people would agree. Let's say 20 years ago, you could do bits. Today, I think audience want to be conversational.
Yes.
They want a dialogue kind of with you.
Yes.
And so
I think is a big reason why like this format that we're doing here works. A lot of people have said.
Yeah, it's
because
great.
They just like, you know, we were talking about my buddy Joe, and I said, you know, I know he'll be listening. He tells me all the time, yep, I'd grab a couple beers and sit out on the back porch and listen and just feel like I'm sitting there hanging out with you guys.
And you guys are great. I mean, you make it so easy to talk with you guys. Yeah. It's great. But that.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wonderful. Thank you. But it's like, but no, it is. It's great. And so, and I've been on other podcasts and other shows, and you know, the first half hour, 45 minutes, it's like we're trying to chip away the wood.
Yeah.
And then you're finally okay. Now we feel comfortable.
So we would initially just sort of like people would come over. We'd exchange the pleasantries, and then it was just all right. Let's sit down and hit record. And more so lately, I've tried to let's sit down and you know
BS for a couple.
BS
Yeah.
before we get started. We had when I think it was when Carl and Cass with Twisted Dragon Forge were on. We sat here and we drank a little bit, and by the time we got things rolling, we were already rolling and having
there
a
you
good
go.
time.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, Cass was actually kind of quiet at first.
yeah.
Then once you
then he
gave
got a
him
hold of
some
the
of that
vodka.
Tito's, and then he was.
That was it.
Yeah, he was.
Vodka's
wide
got a way
open.
of just making people
Then
feel.
all of a sudden we're
ready to
playing
go.
with swords and shields.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, that happened. That happened.
yeah.
My homeowner's policy flashed before my eyes. It's like, Jesus Christ, this is how am I going to explain this? I already had to explain how I backed my wife's car into a tree. That was
Okay, I thought traffic's more. Man, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people out there who need to stay home. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
but I taught
Yeah.
traffic school 5 years, and we would have people. We had this one guy. His name was Philip. Philip got a DUI on a golf cart. It's not easy to do. It's not, but it's like
I have an uncle that got a DUI on a
a
bicycle.
bicycle. Sure, sure.
I've got an
Yeah.
uncle got a DUI on a bicycle, a lawnmower, and then
A riding mower?
knocked out by a
Yeah, I
riding
knew
mower.
somebody got DUI on a running mower one time.
And he got knocked out with a frying pan. He's got like all the hallmarks of just complete alcoholism, you
Well,
know.
dude, who hasn't gotten knocked out by a frying pan?
There was a guy I used to teach at Ryan's.
Yeah, me too. Actually,
I never.
That's
you've
one
knocked
thing
out.
I haven't
No,
done.
I haven't.
Not
either.
yet.
No, not yet. You know,
Not
there's
yet.
still time.
yeah.
But I used to teach at Ryan's Steakhouse when it was in Ocala.
Yeah.
And this guy shows up one day, and he's like Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Hey, dude.
Hey, bud.
Is this like the traffic thing? I'm like, yeah. I said, come here for a minute. I said, you high right now? No, dude. They said I had to be straight for this. That's good. Yeah. Okay. So he feels. So we had breaks, right? So every hour there was like a 10-minute break at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
So the first hour the break's over and he doesn't come back. I said, "Do anybody see this guy?" They go, "No." I walk outside and like way across the way there's an oak tree and he's like behind the oak tree. I go, "Hey!" And he's like he points at himself. "Yeah, you come here." And he's like, "Hey man, what's up? What the hell are you doing over there?" "Oh, dude, that's an oak." And I love trees, man. And that's a beautiful tree. I wanted to. Are you high? He goes, "No, dude, no, I'm not high. I love oak trees. I'll get your arborist ass inside." Okay. So the next hour he doesn't come back. So I start
Your
walking.
arborist asked.
Yeah. So I go out to I'm looking toward the tree, right? I hear this rummaging around sound, and there's some guns in the dumpster.
What?
I go, "What the are you doing?" "Hey, dude, it's a dumpster, and like you can find stuff." Yeah, rats, roaches, disease. Go to the bathroom and wash your hands. I'm like, you know, but it was always something. And I taught for 5 years. I have pages I've never done on stage because it's just I think it's too hard. We had a guy in the class who was 89 years old. His name was Lewis. 89 years old. First ticket ever. People applauded for him, right? First ticket ever. So as the class went along, anything he got busted for doing a rolling stop. I mean,
What?
come on, man. You had to give a ticket that day?
bullshit.
That's bullshit.
I hate those.
He's 89 years old. He's never had a ticket. And you get up a rolling stop?
Come on.
So as the class went along, anything that ever happened bad to you in a car had happened to Lewis. He drove his car through his neighbor's fence. He drove his car through a barbershop front window. He drove his car off a bridge into a lake. I said, "Lewis, I thought you tell me you didn't get a ticket." "Hell, I didn't." "Oh, man, back in them old days, you didn't get no tickets. You kind of just worked out amongst yourselves like that." He drove his car off a bridge into a lake. I said,
I feel like Lewis is related to Matt. Do you have an Uncle Lewis somewhere?
"No, Ocala."
I plead the fifth.
So I said, "Lewis, what happened? You drove your car off a bridge." "Man, I was looking for something in the front seat. Next thing I was in the air." And he got out. He swam away. I said, well, Lewis, what happened when you got out? I swam away. Man, that car's still there. Hurt my heart. That was my favorite car. I drive by there about twice a week. See that car? I just think about that car. It's in the middle of some lake in Ocala.
Is it still there?
I guess.
That's
that was
amazing.
15 years ago. So, I mean, it was like, oh, my gosh. But it was just presented itself to you.
I have a
got
cousin who drove
pages.
his father's truck into a river.
Into a river?
And his brother worked for a tow company. They towed it out. And this was in Michigan, middle of wintertime.
Oh, my gosh.
So
Yeah.
the seat would freeze. Well, my uncle, he worked for GM. He'd get in his truck every morning. By the time he got into Detroit, the seat would be thawed out. He couldn't figure out what the hell was wrong with it. It was like years later he found out his truck had been driven into the freaking river in the middle of wintertime. So,
That's hysterical.
you know, it takes all kinds.
Well, he left that.
That's kind of funny because I actually had I had a cousin that he crashed his truck into a river, like when he was like a teenager, and he ended up becoming a tow truck driver.
On the job training. Give me a chain.
See, that's somebody who's trained so, they know how the cars end up in those weird positions already, so he's got a leg up on the competition.
See, that's not even like the end of the story. He ended up getting a call, like this is in Wisconsin, like the rivers were frozen over, so like a car like went in there and it was frozen over. They couldn't find the car, so they tow out what they thought was the car.
How do you fuck that up?
Yeah, really. What?
It was my cousin's truck from 20 years ago.
So this was like a habitual thing.
Bet you really.
They should have put up some barricades,
They probably should have.
like a wall or something.
How does he explain that? Wait, Frank, where's your truck? Oh man, I don't know. I lent it to Jeff.
No, it was more like, Frank, isn't that your truck from 20 years ago?
Right then. I mean, but when he first lost it.
Dad blame, man. Sure is, man. I mean, what do you do?
He took it home.
Put it in the front yard. That's where it's going.
For
That's
sale.
where mine would go.
For sale.
That's where I'd put it, right in the front yard.
He just took it home. I don't know what he ended up doing with it, but yeah, he ended up recovering his own truck from 20 years
It's all
ago.
rusted out. It's in the water.
So, Bob, what got you to get off the road? You spent 20 years on the road.
I got tired of driving.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, I could say. I mean, I enjoyed.
Where'd you go to? Like all over the
All
states?
over.
Like
All
everywhere?
over. Yeah, everywhere.
Been in all 50?
No.
See?
No.
I fucking told you.
That's right. No, I went. I went all over. That was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it got old. I mean, just
Just like anything, yeah.
Yeah, I was if I could have had a teleportation machine in my home and gone Melbourne, bling, and been there, I'd still be doing comedy this very day.
Yeah.
But I got tired of driving. I got tired of the road, and I got tired. I wasn't enjoying it. I enjoyed performing.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed getting up, but I would literally Amy, my girlfriend, would have to pry me off the couch.
Yeah.
You got to go now.
Yeah.
You have a half-hour window to get there, and not if something doesn't happen. And I would get there, and once I was there,
You're in it.
I was in it. But it just was getting there, and but I miss the. It was fun. I mean, all the people and the people you'd meet, like we talked about, it was a lot of fun. And but I really enjoy trying to help other people now.
Yeah.
That's the best part. And
Yeah.
you see, 'cause we
Passing
talked
it
about
on to the next generation.
Yeah,
trying
trying to pass
to
it forward.
bring them up and
play it forward, or what do you do?
And that's the way to go. I mean, you're passing the torch.
And you know, I still do it. I mean,
Yeah.
at World of Beer, I would still go up periodically, and then, like I said, I have to go up next. Well, I'll go up. I'll host the show next week. I don't know how much time I'll actually do, because we should have about 6 to 8 people to come do both shows, so it should be pretty good. And it's really cool the way they have it set up. But when we get back, hopefully, and all this gets back to normal. Sorry, hopefully we'll be back at World of Beer, and then it'll be a real comedy show.
How long do you think it takes to get back to normal? The regular
Well,
world.
my conspiracy theorist friends think
Lay it on me.
the day after the election it's going to be back to normal.
Oh, I got a lot of friends that are saying the same thing.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends who say that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be. I think it'll be 2021 before. Fauci just said the winter and the fall and winter are going to be bad this year.
Yeah.
So who
Heard
knows?
that.
Who knows? I mean, I don't know. And I I've got a lot of friends who think this is all a big conspiracy, and I mean, well, it may be a conspiracy, but the people who died from it, it's not. But it's I don't know. What do you think?
I'm kind of in the thought of, I'm not going to say that it's all going to end on Election Day or the day after Election Day, but I think after Election Day, you're definitely going to see a big change in the narrative overall. I really do.
Now, what if Trump wins? Will you see a change in the narrative then?
I think so, because I think then it's time to go back to figuring out how to impeach him. I think what can we do for round two?
Round two.
I do. I think that's what will happen. But I think that overall that there'll be all right, he's in there.
He's in there.
We got to deal with it for another 4 years. We're just going to do what we can do to ruffle feathers and try to get him out and all that good stuff. I do. I think that's going to happen. And if Biden gets it, I don't know. Because I don't think he knows. I don't think he would even know if he did win it.
I think your hair smells good.
So it's hard to say. Matt doesn't like talking politics.
No,
and we generally don't.
Yeah, we're not talking politics.
Yeah,
but I just think, when's it going to be normal? Who knows?
Yeah.
And what's normal?
Yeah.
I mean, I miss going to the club. I miss seeing all the people and talking with all the people here in Gainesville who came out to World War.
Exactly. That's all we really want.
Right.
Back to normal.
Right.
And so it's just the conditions that help us to get back to normal. Like, what does that look like anymore? When does that even start? I don't have a clue.
Well, I went to a baseball card show in this is September, July, and or August. I went August in Jacksonville.
Yep.
And I got there late. I was just going to get some stuff authenticated, some autographs.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in. It looked like the freaking National. There must have been, in this banquet room, 200 people. Nobody's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And there's no social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, well, these people don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're touching cards. I was washing my hands every 15 minutes. I mean, but you don't know. Maybe this guy's a dog food merchant. I mean, I don't know what his deal is, but you watch all these people. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
And I really think that part of it is over. I think people are just sick of
I don't think anybody gives a shit.
being inside. And
Most people.
I was at Publix the other day, and there's some guy with no mask on. I'm thinking, how'd you get in? Did you crawl under? Or what it's like? But people, I think, are over it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to when we can get back to like when AJ got the thing at Flacco's.
Yeah.
It's exciting because people are out there.
Well, we have a very short attention span
Totally.
for stuff like that in this country. By and
Wait,
large.
what are we talking about?
Exactly. And we don't like to be told what we have to do and all that stuff, and so, but when things like this happen, we tend to go, okay, let's all, most of us, most good-sensed, good-natured folks, that we all go, all right, let's come together.
Yep.
We'll play along. We'll play the game. We'll all be nice. And then there comes a point where, you have that line. Some people get there earlier than others, and they're like, "No, this is bullshit. I've had enough."
Well,
and then all of a sudden you get Rage Against the Machine. Fuck you! I won't do what you tell me.
That happens.
Yeah.
And so you get but with everything being as out of sorts as it is this year in general. I mean, just all the crazy stuff going on. It only adds to just
totally
how crazy everybody's feeling about it.
We talked about this on message I think earlier today. Today's 9/11.
Yeah,
and when 9/11 happened, I think this country became united.
Oh yeah,
and I think it was 2000. This is 2020, so 19 years later.
19 years. Yeah.
I don't think we've ever been more fractured.
Right, 100%.
And part of that's because of social media.
Yes,
obviously.
I think it's more than a part of it. I think it's like 90% of the reason that we're as fractured as we are is because of social media, the media in general, and the media that's presented through social media.
Yeah.
I think that all factors into it. I think social media is pretty. Like I've said this before. If not for podcast and promoting the show and everything, I just don't feel like I'd be on it anymore. I feel like it's just too toxic And
Yep.
I get really sick of it,
Well, and the one good thing that social media for comedy,
Yeah.
it's helped create people who are stars.
Absolutely.
And so that's the one really good thing about social media. And that's something that AJ is very good about.
Ben Brainerd was
Ben
the guy.
Brainerd is the guy I was gonna mention
We had
him.
Ben on the show.
Unbelievable.
Episode 31 or something like
Yes.
that. It was right in the middle of COVID. And he told us then, he said through the videos that he had been doing, he had a Patreon page and was doing very well through that. And and I said, well, how well has COVID been for you through this? And he said, look, I don't have to go and work a 9 to 5 when this is all over.
No.
Because this has
Paved the road for him.
Paved the way for him. So
And he's funny too.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's real funny.
But that's what it's about. It's about adapting to those situations and figuring it out. And it's been successful for some. I mean, a lot of people have used TikTok as a big platform now, and this has been a big time for people to really sit around and get creative with family and friends or whatever, significant others. And I mean, my buddy Dave, we both know Dave Rivenbark. Mm-hmm. He moved out to California a couple years ago, I guess now.
Yep.
He's got like 30,000 people following him and his kid on TikTok. Just making cute videos of him pulling his baby around in a shopping cart.
As shit, dude.
It's hilarious.
The Celine Dion video. Oh my
he's got
God.
hundreds of them at this point, but he does. He has like 30,000 people that are following him, that are listening to him, that are, staying engaged with what he's doing. And while I don't think that 30,000 is a number where you're going to be, being very profitable or anything like that, I don't know how the scale works.
I don't
to
either.
be honest with you.
Yeah.
There was one girl on there. She had like 17 million people following her page. It's like, are you fucking serious?
That's amazing.
All she's doing is putting up like dance videos. There's like 17
That's a
million
lot of
people
people.
are listening to that young girl.
I think that we have to shout out to Dave Rivenbark a little bit more and get some more people paying attention, because his videos are awesome.
Oh yeah,
And they're on TikTok.
They are awesome.
Yeah.
On TikTok, look up Dave Rivenbark.
Rivenbark.
Or they can look up Porchville Pod and they will find Dave Rivenbark,
Rivenbark.
because Dave has shared our video on his
That
page.
is true. Yeah, so look up porchvillepod.com and we'll hook you up with Dave Rivenbark.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa.
Vice versa.
But yeah, I mean, TikTok's a big platform for comedians and stuff like that too. A lot of people are finding their way through that.
Well, like Andrew Schultz was a guy who became famous off YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, he made these 1 minute videos and he became famous off YouTube. Ben's done something similar.
Yep.
And Ben Brain, I mean, we've had Ben at both of the World of Beer locations, and he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's fucking.
I mean, he looks like he's 11 years old. But I mean, it's like he does. When I first saw him, I said, are you shaving? I mean, like,
Are you old enough to be in here?
That's when you start realizing you're getting older. When young people start looking like they just came out of the womb.
Are you old enough to know what Gillette is?
Yeah, exactly. But no, he's hysterical, and you sit there and watch him, and I've not seen any of his stuff online, but AJ just raves about it, and he's really funny.
Oh yeah,
very
he's
talented.
Great.
Yeah.
He's amazing, and I love it though. I do. I mean, that's all the stuff that's happened this year, all the craziness that's happened, all the hate and anger. There's still, amongst it all, there's still some good in there coming out of all of this shitty situation.
Yeah.
And it's by and large people that are trying to just entertain people, keep people laughing through all of this, because they know laughter is the best medicine. They know that it's so important to put that out there and keep people motivated and laughing through all of this.
And when I was at Laughing in May with Chris, I mean, it was amazing. Jamie had just reopened, and Jamie, I think, was the first club in the United States to reopen, because he had food, so that's why he was able to do it.
Okay.
It wasn't just a bar, and very good food. And the first show on Thursday night there was like 40, and then the Friday night show there was about 70, and then Saturday for both shows there was like 100 and 130.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, well, these people, this was May.
Yeah.
When COVID was like raging, and people want to get out of their
Yeah,
house.
absolutely.
And so I think that's what people want to do. And I don't know, but I'm not going to. We don't want to get into Alachua County's policies or anything like that.
Oh boy.
But as soon as they relax them a little bit, where we can start going back out again,
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know, and then we'll maybe we could do a show from the club one night or something.
Absolutely.
But
I'm
we
always
were
down for stuff like that.
Yeah, it would be fun. And we bring in national touring. 2 weeks ago out in Newberry, we brought Dean Napolitano in. Dean's been on like Las Vegas. He's been on Burn Notice. He's one of the funniest guys ever.
Yeah.
We've had Mike Revere. We've had some pretty big people, and people like Ben, Topher Matheson. There's been several.
I
people.
saw Topher. He was very funny.
He's very funny.
Is he local?
I think he's from Orlando.
Is he? Okay.
Or Jacksonville. I can't remember. He's one of the two. But Topher, who's hilarious.
Yeah.
And there's just so many. Like I said,
I always
earlier,
wondered when it became a thing to start using the second half of the name Christopher.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know?
I don't know.
when that changed, but like Topher
Yeah.
Grace, that 70s show.
Yep.
I love him.
Yep.
First time I ever heard somebody use the name Topher.
Yep. That
You?
was the first time.
I actually really like that name. I like that name a lot.
Well, that's great that you like it. When was the first time you remember hearing it, though?
I think
Like
we
right
just
now?
talked about it.
like past couple minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize it was Christopher.
Yeah.
I thought his name was just Topher.
Well,
But very, very funny guy. And there's so many, like I said before, we talked about it, but I mean, there's just so many people in the North Florida area who you sit there and you just go, wow.
there really is a lot.
And they're
of good
young.
talent. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I said before, I was 30 or 29 when I started, basically 30 when I got on the road.
Yep.
I mean, what it would have been like if I'd been 20. But when I was 20 living here, there was no comedy clubs. There was a bar that did an open mic where you could come do music or poetry reading or whatever you wanted to do. There was no comedy club in Gainesville really in 1980 or 84 or 85. And even when I got to Hilton Head, it wasn't until 89 when that club opened.
What was when you look back on all the shows you've done and all that stuff, what's been your favorite on stage moment? What do you look back on and go, God,
Yeah, that's
damn,
actually a
if
good
I could,
question.
If I could do that moment right there again.
So my mother died in 2001, right after November, but after 9/11, obviously. And she died the FSU football weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I was booked here the next weekend. They always had me here either Thanksgiving week, Christmas, or New Year's religiously. I was there because people would come out, luckily, and see me. And I was booked the weekend after FSU, and about Wednesday, I realized I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I can't do it. And I called the booker, and the booker has closed up for Thanksgiving, and I have to do it. And I don't want to. I was angry about it. And did you ever go there when I was at the Holiday Inn in that little room they had?
Nope.
It said it held 120.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that people were sitting shoulder to shoulder all because they had these little alcoves in there,
Right.
And it was I figured the place might have held 90 people, maybe. And
That's what I call nuts to butts.
yeah, exactly what it was like.
Yeah.
And that
nuts to
weekend
butts.
on Friday and Saturday, both shows, it was people I hadn't seen since like the third grade, and all these people came, and it was like, it was just that weekend was it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and when 9/11 happened, we were talking about earlier, and people ask, well, I tell people all the time, I can remember when Kennedy died.
Yeah.
I was 3. And I remember my mother, everything got quiet in the house. My mother found out. My great-grandmother was in the house. And my mother told me to be quiet. And my dad came home early. He never came home from work early, all that. I remember that much of what happened.
Yeah.
Well, 9/11 happened. I remember I was watching a movie, and my mother, we talked about earlier, called. I turned it over. And I remember, I really didn't have a relationship with God then, but I remember praying for all the people who died.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all the stuff in my life really didn't mean that much anymore,
Yeah.
And then when she died a couple months later, it was very. I was ready to quit doing comedy then.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to quit, but I would have, and I still did it for another 9 years. But all those people who came out to see me that weekend, and they didn't have to come, and there's people had heard it since I was 11, so it's like I hadn't really changed that much, especially mentally, but it was overwhelming, and I think about that night, those 2 nights, and the second night it was like all I remember is people.
Yeah,
I can't even see like in my memory. It just, there was no space. It was just crammed with people. And I think Saturday night I did like an hour and 20, which for me was like, we were just having a good time.
Yeah.
It was like this. How long have we been here so far? But I mean, it's been great. And you just don't want it to end. And it's a lot of fun. But those 2 nights would be, and it was here.
Yeah.
That's what makes it even better. Because Fort Myers always had a good time. Melbourne, Florida, always had a good time in Melbourne. The Keys, I did shows in the Keys. It was always fun.
But nothing like that
Beaumont,
one
Texas,
weekend.
no, nothing. Ever touched it. Beaumont, Texas. I had really good shows out there. I worked with Ralphie May back then.
Oh yeah,
And
he was fucking.
he was hilarious. I've been lucky to work with a lot of famous people. I mean, I've been lucky. I'm not to sit here and name drop for another half hour, but I've been really. But the funniest guy I ever worked with. There's 3 or 4. Dean Napolitano, Mike Revere are 2 of them. There's a guy named Todd Yawn. Todd was, I think, from Indiana. Remember Family Affair, the show Family Affair, with Brian Keith, and he had
Very vaguely.
Okay.
I remember very.
There's a little red-haired kid in the show, Johnny Whitaker. He was on Sigmund and the Sea Monsters when he got older. Todd looked like Johnny Whitaker's brother, and Todd Yawn was the funniest guy I ever worked with. He was on. People in comedy have heard it. He never made it. Movies and TV, but Todd Yawn was unbelievably funny. He just made it look so easy. Like you could just go up there and just start talking.
Yeah,
and he was the best I ever worked with. But there's been so many people. But that weekend would be it for me. And that's a really nice question to ask. Thanks.
Absolutely.
And
but we are actually sitting at about 2 hours.
Oh my gosh! Already?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
It just flew by,
doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's awesome.
You can re-edit it out, and edit me out, and just put the part about Connie, and that's the part you need. Courtney. Sorry, Courtney. My bad. Matt and Courtney. Okay.
And yeah. Sexiversary, is that what it's called?
Sexiversary, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be in the liner notes. Like we're going to have to.
Sexiversary.
Sexiversary.
I've never heard that before.
Me neither. But it's going to be a thing.
I had one bizarre. I don't know. Well,
have you ever heard of Eskimo Brothers?
Eskimo Brothers?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Eskimo Brothers is if you've had sex with the same girl.
Okay.
So if you guys
I got you. Okay.
had sex with the same girl,
okay,
you're Eskimo Brothers.
I got you.
Well, I think that's where we got to put it down.
Yeah, thank you for having
me. Do you have any websites or anything you want to throw out there for everybody?
I'm good. On Facebook, I do some sports card stuff on Facebook. Home Court Sports was my business that I had. I still do some cards and autographs. If you have any questions, you can holler at me. And for our comedy, Keg of Laughs on Facebook. We have our Keg of Laughs page, which we are always promoting the shows. Like the show we did at Woodyard and the Flacco show and anything else that we get. And when we finally get rolling back, hopefully at World of Beer, it'll be on there.
And we'll link to the Keg of Laughs
That'd be
page
wonderful.
in the show notes and everything will be on the website.
And and like I said, there's so much talent here, and I'm looking forward to 2021. It's meeting new people and not just comedians, but all the customers, all the fans who come out. Like you and to be here today was really an honor. Thank you guys for having me.
This has been a blast. I had a great time. Well, all right, kids. I lost my page. I'm sorry. I lost my page. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Porchville Podcast.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you very much.
All
Bob
right.
Smith, get over there, Keg of Laughs, and you can see some great talent here. And check us out, porchvillepod.com. If you got any emails you want to send us, send it to porchmail@porchvillepod.com. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we're on all those places. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Goodbye, Matt.
See you, Matt.
Hell yeah!
Goodbye, Bob.
See you, buddy.
Adios.
Thank you, man.
Take care of your mental health, folks.